Oh my. 3 p.m. 8/3/2024. I have my fan on. My burrito just opened up like the Eraserhead baby. So I'm trying to eat it so I can wrap it up properly again. But it opened up when Henry's curiosity gets the better of him, and he cuts open the baby's swaddling bandages. But he comes to realize that those bandages are keeping the baby's innards inside. He doesn't realize this until too late, and cuts the baby open. And that's what my burrito looks like now. Anyway, nobody's gonna listen to this, right? So who gives a fuck? About 2 months ago, I watched a movie called Ryan's Daughter. I think I rented it from the library. This was when I rented Lady Snowblood and Don't Look Now and like 3 others that I can't remember. I don't remember what I watched. But Ryan's Daughter is a 1970 British epic romantic drama film directed by the late great David Lean. And I don't know that I knew that at the time I was watching it. David Lean is a terrific director that directs these huge epics. Let's see, where's his filmography? Brief Encounter, which isn't a grand epic, but it's a great movie. I loved it. I loved it so much. 1945 Brief Encounter. Summertime, which I didn't necessarily like, but I did like, because I love Rosanna Brazzi, and I do like seeing Katharine Hepburn. I thought the plot was kind of dumb, but it was fun to watch. I have seen Lawrence of Arabia, but that was a long time ago. And that movie, it asks a lot of you, dude. And Dr. Zhivago, kind of same thing, but not as trying as Lawrence of Arabia. I think I have seen it, but that's also been a long time. But Ryan's Daughter is 1970 British epic romantic drama. Why can't I say that? Epic romantic drama. Epic romantic drama. Starring Robert Mitchum and Sarah Miles. The film, set between August 1917 and January 1918, tells the story of a married Irish woman who has an affair with a British officer during World War I, despite moral and political opposition from her nationalist neighbors. Okay. Ooh, I got a bean in here. I didn't ask for one. Oh. Yeah. Nobody's gonna listen to this. I'm chopping and my fan's on. Let's see. In August 1917, Rosie Ryan, only daughter of the local publican widower Tom Ryan, is bored with life in Kirriby, an isolated village on the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry in the southwest of Ireland. I know where Dingle is because of Amy Winehouse. The day Amy came to Dingle. The ends of the earth. The villagers are Irish nationalists taunting taunting British soldiers from a nearby camp. Tom Ryan publicly supports the recently suppressed Easter Rising, but secretly serves the British as an informer. Okay. Yeah. So, I was watching this movie, and at this point in the plot, I'm already lost because I don't know anything about Irish nationalists and like world. I don't know a whole lot about World War One, and at least in that part of the world. So you already lost me. So, good thing this film had the likes of Robert Mitchum. Because once Robert Mitchum came onto the screen, that held my attention. I didn't really know a lot about Sarah Miles, but she's a little minx. So Rosie falls in love with the village schoolmaster, widower Charles Shaughnessy. She imagines, though he tries to convince her otherwise, that he will somehow add excitement to her life. They marry and settle in the schoolhouse, but he is a quiet man, uninterested in physical love. So she kind of like seduces him a little bit. She goes to the school alone and she expresses her interest, which he rebuffs, and she's about to go, and there's this little scene between Sir Miles and Robert Mitchum where she says, "So you don't want me then? So you don't want me then?" And that's it. She won him over with that. So they get married. And they consummate the marriage, and he seems to go for it, but like I think he only does it to please her. And it's really awkward. And Robert Mitchum is really handsome, and so it's weird seeing him in this like. I don't think he's impotent or anything. I think he's still like grieving his first wife or whatever. I don't even know, but let's see. So whatever, they get married, and soon find out they're incompatible. Meanwhile, Major Randolph Dorian arrives in October 1970 to take command of the army camp. After winning a Victoria Cross on the Western Front, he has a crippled leg and is suffering from shell shock. When he visits the pub where Rosie is serving alone, he collapses under a flashback to the trenches and is comforted by her. The two kiss passionately until they are interrupted by the arrival of Ryan and others. Next day, the two ride to a forest for a passionate liaison and make love for the first time. Charles becomes suspicious of Rosie, but keeps his thoughts to himself. I'm going to say this one scene from this movie. And it's not the beautiful love scene, which is very beautiful, but it's the shell shock scene that has been in my head for 2 months. It's a scene in my favorite playlist where Rosie is in her dad's bar, I think, and with the local halfwit, which is a nice way of saying mentally challenged person, and the soldier. And Rosie, because she's sexually frustrated, is starting to fall for the soldier. And he's tamping his cigarettes. And the halfwit starts beating his foot against the wooden structure he's sitting on. And that is aided by this marching music And the score started off romantic, but was overtaken by this nimwit who keeps beating his foot against the wooden structure, which sets off the shell shock in the soldier. But the whole construction of the scene, I can't get out of my head. I'm going to bring it up so I can talk about it. Let's see. And I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the film. The love scene is beautiful. Uh, Beautiful colors, beautiful taking of the woman. Let's see. I gotta find it. Watched it like 3 times today already. Okay. Let's see. Okay, she sits down. So these 3 characters are in the bar. And she's seated in this little nook, pretending to read a book but checking out the soldier. And it's beautifully framed. I think she is reading the book, but slowly but surely she notices the soldier. And the soldier is very handsome. And he's just standing there staring into space, and she's like eyeing him down in his uniform. She's kind of like into it until he makes a move for his cigarettes, and it breaks her lusting after him, and she goes to pretend to read the book again. And the music, there's this lovely music in the background. He starts tapping his cigarettes, and since she knows he's preoccupied with that, she goes back to staring at him again. And she's fallen hard and she's fallen fast. And he lights a cigarette, and then the halfwit starts banging his foot. And the way David shoots this, I don't know what it is. I have not been able to get this out of my head for like 2 months. He the halfwit starts banging his foot in time with this cheery tune, this cheery march tune, and it starts to set off the soldier's shell shock. He puts out a cigarette. The dude keeps banging his foot. And he's gleeful about it. And the soldier looks over. And the halfwit thinks the soldier's into it. So he starts banging it with more enthusiasm, which sends him into a complete breakdown. The soldier. And this stupid halfwit is causing this horrible episode. He finally realizes he's affecting the soldier. And this dude, I hate this fucking character. I hate this character, but he's so integral to this scene because he sets off this episode that the soldier has, which then allows for Rosie and the soldier to be alone because Rosie kicks out the dum dum, and they have their first kiss. But this dum dum starts to realize what he's doing, kind of, or he realizes that the soldier's not okay. The soldier's trying to be composed. Dorian, Major Dorian, I think, and he stops, but the shell shock isn't stopping, so the halfwit's all freaked out and starts running out of the door. And Sarah Miles' character gets up, and the soldier's shaking the bar, and it sounds like the bar shaking sounds like a train, almost. And then she kicks him out. She kicks the halfwit out of the bar. When she kicks him out, locks the door, and the soldier turns around They face each other, and he has a full breakdown where it's intercut with the where he was put into battle, and he's in the trenches, and he runs for cover. He ducks for cover in the trenches, and it's beautifully shot to where it's cut in between the bar and where he is in the trenches, and so we're supposed to believe he's in the trenches with Rosie, but he's in the bar with Rosie, and she sticks out her hand to comfort him because he's cowering on the ground, and she takes his hand, and he looks at her hand, he sees her hand, then he looks at her hand, up her arm, and into her face. And somehow the bar is not all dark now, because I guess it's still part of the fantasy, but her eyes are lit up, and they look at each other, and they finally kiss each other, and she kisses him for comfort, and it sets off this like torrid love affair. Now, I don't know what it is about movies like this where I'll watch a movie and I won't like the fucking movie. I won't like the movie, but there are these certain scenes in these damn movies that I cannot shake. And this is one of those scenes. I have not been able to shake this scene for 2 months, dude. And I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the composition of it. It's the fact that you have three main characters. Yeah, 3 main characters in one room in a small space. Each one has a purpose and an agenda, and is serving the other character. So, like, I'm still eating my burrito. Hey to whoever's here. Rosie is there to tend bar and look after her father's bar, but and then the half-wit is just the half-wit, but he's like the leitmotif throughout the film, and he's kind of like the guiding light. And then the soldier is there to as the love interest to Sarah Miles' character. So I think it's the fact that, like I said, the 3 characters in one room. Each of them are directing them to their actions. And it's something about the music that starts off sweet and slow, and then it evolves into that kind of march. And it's the shots of each of the characters. It's a shot of Rosie. It's a shot of that half-wit, which I hate to see his stupid face because his teeth are disgusting. And it's a shot of the soldier. And then the actions that happen between the characters. The intenseness of each of them, because David Lean goes in for close-ups of each one of them. And he goes in for a close-up of the half-wit's boot. When it gets more and more intense, and it's comical. But there's, dude, I don't even know how to explain it. All I can say is that I cannot shake it. Let's see. Let me go back. What is it about this scene? What is it about this scene that made me say something? Everything I just said, probably. Just that we start on Rosie, and there's a slow push in. She's sitting at the Nook, and there's a slow push in. She's in her white dress, sitting on a brown bench against yellow backdrop. And that alone is pretty. And she's pretty, and the beautiful music, and her slowly looking up to the soldier because she's interested. I'm just re-describing the scene again. And she's looking him up and down, or checking him out, and he looks beautiful in his in his dress, and yeah, she lusts him. But I'm not even taking it there in a gross way. She's falling in love with him. I can't get over it. I hate the movie, or I don't hate the movie. I didn't like the movie. It was too damn long. There's too many like I didn't get the political part of it, but I love this scene. And that's all I have to say about it because I'm going to say the same damn things over and over again. But there's something about it. Like I was downtown today driving, and I was thinking about it, and I've probably watched it like 10 times within the last 24 hours. And that half of it makes me really uncomfortable. But the movie itself takes a really dark turn in like the third act, where let's see, I already forgot the plot. Um, yeah, Robert Mitchum kind of tells Rosie that he knows what's up, and that he knows they had an affair, but he wants a separation. And I forget what the let's see. One night in January 1918, during a fierce storm, the IRB leader, Tim O'Leary, and a small band of his men arrive in Ryan's pub seeking help to recover a shipment of German arms being floated from a ship toward the beach. When they leave, Ryan tips off the British traitor, and the entire village turns out to help the rebels, with Ryan the most outwardly devoted to the task, wading into the breakers repeatedly to salvage boxes of weapons and explosives. O'Leary is overwhelmed by Ryan's devotion, and the villagers are ebullient. They gleefully free the rebels' loaded truck from the wet sand and follow it up the hill. Shit. Dorian, waiting at the top with his troops, captures the men and arms. O'Leary makes a break, but Dorian climbs atop the truck and brings him down with a single rifle shot. Then he suffers a flashback and collapses. Rosie presses through the crowd in concern, outraging the villagers. They already know they fucking. Charles tells Rosie that he had let the affair run its course, hoping that the infatuation would pass, but now wants a separation. Rosie says that the affair is over, but that night she leaves their bed in her nightdress to meet Dorian. She's a hussy. In dismay, Charles wanders in his nightclothes to the beach, where the parish priest, Father Collins, finds him. The villagers storm into the schoolhouse and seize Rosie, convinced that she informed the British of the arms shipment. Ryan watches in shame and horror as his daughter takes the blame for his actions. He totally threw her under the bus. Horrible end. The mob shears off her hair and strips her clothes. This was a horrific scene in the movie. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but I don't know who's watching. There's a 1 out of 3 chance I know who it is. But let's see. Totally throws her under the bus. Dorian walks along the beach and gives his cigarette case to Michael. In gratitude, Michael leads Dorian to a cache of arms, including dynamite, that was not recovered. After Michael runs off, Dorian commits suicide by detonating the explosives. That was a cool scene. The next day, Rosie and Charles leave for Dublin. Father Collins and Michael help carry their luggage to the bus stop. Before they leave, Father Collins says to Charles that his only doubt is the same as Charles's: if he and Rosie should separate. Yeah, Robert Mitchum, you should leave her. She's a hussy. Or I don't know. They want to make it work. So, this was... wasn't it? It's a retelling of the plot of Gustave Flaubert's 1857 novel, Madame Bovary. I did not know that. Dude, like, all roads keep leading to the same works that I haven't read and I keep putting off because I'm intimidated by them. I have tried Madame Bovary before, but I think I got lost in the sauce of it. Should really pick that back up again. Along with Veblen's The Theory of the Lead from Class. You hear me? Let's see. The score was written by Maurice Jarre, and the movie was photographed in Super Panavision 70 by Freddie Young. In its initial release, Ryan's Daughter was harshly received by critics, but was a box office success. I guess nothing else was playing, grossing nearly $31 million on a budget of $13.3 billion, making the film the eighth highest grossing picture of 1970. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards and won in 2 categories. Okay, so the film itself, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It shows Dingle in all its glory. Dingle on the edges of the earth, where Amy was revealing herself to herself, and where the bus driver thought Amy was her mom and not Amy herself, with her spindly little legs and her back-combed hair. And she got to sing her songs. She got to sing her Back to Black songs. And in the little chapel that could, at the edges of the earth in Dingle. Dingle is absolutely beautiful. And a nice setting for a story like this. And again, I'm not well read up on World War I and the goings on between the Irish and the British. 3 people are here. Holy shit. We got Ryan's Daughter's fans up in the house. Hey. 2 people are here. Do you not want me then? And Robert Mitchum is in a role I don't think I've ever seen him in. 1%. I said 1 of 3. And I had 3. But Robert Mitchum usually is terrifying, and he's usually like a bad guy, but here he's like totally laid back. I don't want to be stupid about it and say modern terms like a cuck beta male or something, but he's not even that. He's a grieving widower that is mildly seduced by a young Rosie whose hormones are raging, and goes for it because she wanted him. It's not right, but because she didn't respect the fact that he was still grieving. He tried to talk her out of it, but she bewitched him with her feminine wiles. All right. 8th highest grossing picture in 1970. Okay, what are the others? Love Story, Airport, MASH, Patton. Patton, I was going through a family member's things. We had a VCR, right? And there was a VHS in the VCR. I thought, cool. So I plugged it in, and I punched eject, and the tape wouldn't move. And I thought, well, great. So I busted out all these screwdrivers. I unplugged it first. Busted out these screwdrivers and disassembled the whole thing. And I find the tape in there with the guts of the tape. Not a lot of it, but a lot of the tape tangled up in the spools. So I detangled it. You know, with VHS, you can recover it, but like once the film of the tape gets like that, it's kind of borked forever. You can't like it doesn't retain that shiny sheen. There's borkage, like forever borkage. So I'm detangling it and going through the bork, and I finally free the tape. I lift it out, and what tape is it that I see but Patton with the one and only George C. Scott, who I think once said if there was a film to redo, it would be this one. Or he either said he would redo this film or he wished he hadn't done it. I don't know, one of the two. But George C. Scott, I love George C. Scott. He's a brilliant actor. If you haven't seen it, please see The Changeling. Please see The Formula. Please see Dr. Strangelove. What other ones do I like? Please see... Fuck, what is that one called? I'm missing it. Gotta look. The Hustler. Oh, yeah. What other ones do I like with George? That's it. No, I'm just kidding. Changeling, The Formula. I swear to God, nobody knows The Formula, and it's a brilliant movie. Not with my wife, you don't. I've seen Anatomy of a Murderer. It is a good movie, but his voice and his acting talents were good. All right, highest grossing films of 1970. Woodstock, Little Big Man. Dustin Hoffman plays Indian for like 3 hours. Tora. Catch-22, or Ryan's Daughter, Catch-22, The Owl and the Pussycat. Is that Barbara? I forget. Yeah. Okay. The Owl and the Pussycat is a 1978 American romantic film directed by Herbert Ross, who would then go on to do Steel Magnolias, right? In like 1988. Fuck yeah, I would. Oh, he did The Goodbye Girl. Good movie. I recommend it. But he did a bunch of Babs movies. Because Barbara loves to put her face on every fucking thing. That's cool. For Herbert, not so much for Babs. Barbra Streisand annoys the fuck out of me, but I will admit she's a good singer. The film follows Doris, a somewhat uneducated actress, model, and part-time prostitute who moves in temporarily with her neighbor Felix, an intellectual, aspiring writer. Despite their many obvious differences, the two begin to admire each other over time. Comedian and actor Robert Klein appears in a supporting role. And Buck Henry, who wrote Midnight Cowboy, right? Right? I thought. Where? Oh, The Graduate. That's what I'm getting mixed up. Right? Okay. He wrote To Die For. I recommend that one too. That movie is excellent. Graduate. So wait, who? I'm just rambling here while eating my whatchamacallit burrito. Midnight Cowboy. So you don't want me then? Don't want you. Waldo Salt. Coming Home. Waldo. Okay. Kind of embarrassed I don't know that. So you don't want me then? Let's see. Yeah, George C. Scott won for Patton. Best Actor. Or wait, right? Oh, shit. John Mills. John Mills played the halfwit? Of course he did. They say never go full. I'm not going to say it. But you go full, you win an Oscar sometimes. I think Sean Penn will tell you that, right? And so will Jonathan, apparently. Hey, if he had to wear that shit in his mouth for like 6 months to shoot this, then give him the gold statue. I don't know how anybody puts up with that shit. It's kind of like Willem Dafoe in Wild at Heart. He wore these obnoxiously large teeth, which affected his speech. And he had a lisp. I was gonna say something really disgusting, but I'm gonna hold back. But Robert Mitchum, Robert Mitchum, 1917, and Sarah Miles. Jesus, 1941. There's like a 20-something year age gap. Trevor Howard. Mm-hmm. Sons and Lovers. That's a good one. Lola. But anyway, this was a sweeping epic. David Lean goes big, and it's just one of those movies where I did not like it. If you said Pancake's House, you want to watch a movie today? I say sure, well, or maybe, because I might not like your taste in movies. What do you want to watch? You want to watch Ryan's Daughter, a 3-hour epic with this like restless young woman and this halfwit that's like infatuated with her, like stalking her while she goes from man to man during like wartime. I'd be like, cool, no, and then watch it anyway. Or I'd watch the parts that I would like, because that love scene in the forest is so beautiful. And I know she's having an affair and she's a hussy, but the colors that David picked for that are so unbelievably beautiful. And like, I don't know what to say. They both know what they're gonna do. And the horses are just they're just chilling while they're making love in the forest. And they just stare at each other and there it's like intercut with like all these shots of like nature, of like the sun through the leaves and the trees and like spider webs and like slugs on fungus or something. David, I don't know if David was smoking or something. I think he's like, okay, we gotta shoot this. This is an epic love story, right? We gotta have this epic love making scene where you had your rendezvous where you meet at this big castle, and then you all gotta go trot into the woods. And since you're meeting in secret, make sure to be discreet. So wear a bright red silk shirt with a silk scarf that you tie on a tree, which is clearly obvious to the town halfway, polite way, saying mentally challenged. And he won't notice it, except he will. And he'll tattle on you in front of the whole town and ruin your name and reputation. But you did that yourself by doing the thing. But beautifully shot. David Lean knew how to shoot a movie. Okay. So I'm getting David Lean and Noel Coward mixed up. Because I'm thinking of oh fucking hell, what is that movie? Oh, and Douglas Sirk mixed up. I'm getting all these directors mixed up. These directors that make oh, he was a writer. Fucking hell. Douglas Sirk. All That Heaven Allows. Mm-hmm. Where Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson have a little love affair. Let's see. All That Heaven Allows. And the most bright colors I think I've ever seen on the screen. 1955 with Agnes Moorehead. Rock Hudson wears the typical man flannel, and all his manliness is packed into that flannel and those tight pants. And he renovates his barn with a Wedgwood teapot in it. That Jane Wyman, that stupid bitch, breaks it because she can't handle the power of his pants and his love. No, she accidentally knocks it over, and that's another movie where it's like, okay, I like it, I like it a lot. I love it, but I also hate it. I hate, like, you did me wrong, Douglas. Like, I can't eat this whole fucking burrito. The dude put too much in it. I can't eat all this bread. I said earlier, like, when I unfurled it, it opened up like the Eraserhead baby. So, like, I've been up for almost 24 hours. Don't judge me. So, like, I watched this movie, and I'm with it, and there's some parts about it that are like, okay, a little dated. And then at the end, spoiler alert, let's see. Carrie goes to see a doctor about recurrent headaches she has started having, and he suggests that they are being caused by her body punishing her for ending her relationship with Ron. It's fucking stupid. Leaving the appointment, she runs into one of Ron's friends, and in the course of their conversation, she learns that Ron is still single. She goes to his property, but then changes her mind and leaves. Ron sees her from the precipice and excitedly, though unsuccessfully, tries to get her attention. The ground collapses out from underneath him, and he falls off the cliff. This is the dumbest ending. He somehow survives. And that night, Ron's friend tells Carrie about the accident. She hurries over to his house. She decides she no longer wants to allow other people to dictate how she lives her life, go girl, and settles into nurse Ron back to health. With his man flannel, red and black, it still works, and his tight pants, with a cast on. When Ron regains consciousness, Carrie tells him that she has come home. So his pushy seduction, along with his convenient accident, has won her heart. Intact teapot or no intact teapot. So how do you like them apples? So, like, I've had that Ryan's daughter scene in my head for like 2 months. And then the past couple days, I've been rewatching The Messenger, the Joan of Arc movie that I've seen like 50 times. Directed by that rapist, Luc Besson, which I hate him for because I love this movie so goddamn much, and he's kind of ruined it for me. And Luc Besson is a brilliant director and a piece of shit human being. Oh, fuck. Way too much. But it finally took me a while to understand the Joan of Arc timeline, and I'm still a little fuzzy on the Treaty of Troy. Treaty of Troy, Troyes, where England and France are settling who gets what in the landmass at the end of the 100 Years' War. And Jean comes in with her mental illness and fucks up England's plans to take over France. And she inserts herself into the French armies by declaring to Charles VII, the Dauphin, that he will become the King of France. She says to him, fuck, I have a message for you from the King of Heaven. For you and you only. He said, I must bring back, I must free France from her enemies and bring her back into the hands of God. Where you, Charles, will, and I will take you to Rome, will you be crowned the King of France. And I think they were desperate at that time. Like, the 100 Years' War was ending. And I sound really ignorant about this because I'm probably wrong. And they were like, yeah, let's let a 18-year-old chick with mental illness take over. Sounds like a good idea. And she does. She takes over. I forget where the first battle was. She takes over the battle and they're heading north to Orleans. And they attack at the Tourelle. against the English, and they try to assassinate her with an arrow, and they don't kill her. She's not afraid of these dudes. Because she tries to go to Compiègne and Paris and Rome. She faces the English army alone, and she gives a great speech about how, like, look, we've already kicked your ass like 3 times. Like, give it up. You're taking over France ain't working because I'm taking it back, bitch. And it's like, she says it more delicately. She's like, before each battle, she's like, look, I'm giving you the chance to go in peace. Will you do it? And it's like 3rd time's a charm. First time, they're like, no, fuck you. Second time, they're like, fuck you. Or maybe it's the 4th time. She's like, look, we're here in an open field. We're about to battle to the death. And again, I've already kicked your ass like 3 times. Like, come on. Like, give it up. She faces him alone. And they retreat. And that's enough of a dub for Charles to be crowned King of France. And after he gets his crown, he ceases all military activity because that's what he wanted. He wanted the crown and he wanted the title. And he said, fuck the rest. I got mine and fuck you. And Joan ain't down with that because she wanted to keep leading her military campaigns to overtake the rest of France. He's like, nah, I already got everything I wanted. So she's relentless. And he's like, okay, I need to stop her because the public is favoring her more than me. And so they set her up into a trap to be caught by the Burgundians. And she's caught by the Burgundians. And it's at this point in the movie when another rapist enters, Dustin Hoffman, her sexual predator, as her conscience. And Mila Jovovich is fucking amazing in this movie. A lot of people hate this movie because it is a lot to take. And, like, it's factually inaccurate. But it gives a general timeline of events. She's a maiden from the Rain. And they have to make sure she's a maiden. They check to see if, like, she didn't bust her hymen or whatever. Because I guess that's how they told if you were a virgin back then. But, oh god, this is so weird. And there are these scenes between her and Dustin Hoffman, which are actually pretty good. When she's locked in a cell, and is like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, France isn't behind me. They threw me under the bus towards the English, and now these motherfuckers want to charge me with heresy. And they think I'm a lunatic, which I am, but now they think I'm a witch, and like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do about that? Nope. They try her an ecclesiastical court to try to save her and be like, hey, Joan, you know how you said all your visions were like from God and how like true and just they are? If you just say no to that, you don't have to burn to death. Isn't that cool? And she's like, no, it's not cool. My visions are pure and they're from God. And if the church doesn't back me up on that, fuck the church. And they're like, okay, cool, but could you sign this piece of paper? And she's like, nah, dude. And they somehow trick her into signing it. Oh, I know. They said, if you sign this, we'll have you confessed. And she's like, okay. So she puts an X on the piece of paper. And Dustin Hoffman's like, okay, cool, you just relinquished God and said all your visions were lies and you betrayed him. So have fun burning in hell when your real time comes. And she's like, nah. She grabs a piece of paper, rips it up, or tries to rip it up. And they're like, no. They put her back in a cell, and she, quote unquote, relapses into dressing as a man, and somehow that's a hanging offense in the 1400s because they didn't like drag queens back then. And it's like, no, she's a witch. See these clothes we gave her? She cast a spell and like made them appear. We didn't give them to her. We did, but like we're not gonna let you know that, Bishop. She's a witch. And the bishop's like, fuck this. I tried to save you, and you keep going against me. So have fun in the town square tomorrow. Nope. So Joan, stuck by her visions, and was tied to the stake, and then burned at the stake, which looks like an awful way to die. And I'm not well, I know how they filmed it. They did composites and laid images over each other, and I think they used like robot legs for the feet, because Luke filmed these very graphic scenes of the body moving in the fire. But Jean is to have said, so when I'm burning, y'all monks with your bald heads and like hair crowns, can you throw up a cross for me so I can look at something while I'm dying? All right, yeah, Jean. Cool. So anyway, I love that movie. And my love for that movie has been tainted by that asshole Luc Besson. Like, dude, and I just heard about, and I know, like, you're innocent until proven guilty and yada, yada, yada. The dude, like, went and impregnated, like, a 15-year-old and made, like, Leon. I think I can pretty safely assume that where there's smoke, there's fire. And it really fucking sucks, because he's a brilliant director, and I still love this movie. There are lines from this movie, like, okay, so I was looking up the cast this morning. All these French actors, these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful French actors, and there's this one that they're in the battle, and they take over the English artillery, and it's cited earlier as a Dijon Culverin. It's this catapult. I think, yeah, this catapult, where it cuts from the judges approving Jean for the military campaign to try to reach Orléans. The gavel, he smashes down the gavel, and it's cut with the transition to the setting off of the Dijon Culverin. And it's the English who has it first, but once the French defeat them in battle, this character takes it, and in one of the next battles, that's his character. He's in charge of the English's Dijon Culverin and uses it against the English. It says, and he loves this artillery. It says, "You are beautiful. Now let's see if you are powerful." He's French. And then another character who's kind of like, he says that, he says, "My pride's been usurped by a girl." And what is she doing? She doesn't consult with us. And he said, and another character says, "You didn't consult with her." And he's like, "Don't even start, because you were in the attack too." And he says, "That's not fair." And he says, "Why?" Because I always agree to attack. Two arms. But this film has a lot of great scenes and really filmed beautifully, and hate the early scenes because her sister's death is like the impetus behind it all, and brutal like rape scene, which I hate. But it like sets her off, and it's not factually accurate. But and it has like John Malkovich and Faye Dunaway. And John Malkovich plays this like overly fey, like dauphin, where he's like almost like a child. And Malkovich is talking about Jean, and I think he kind of loves her a little bit until like she's more popular than he is, and then he starts to hate her. But Malkovich plays a really fey version of Charles VII. And Faye Dunaway is like practically bald and has this great big headdress on with like a little pearl whatnot dangling down her bald forehead. And she's got these talon nails on with these clunky rings. And there's one shot in the film where she like grabs John Malkovich's face and she puts her talon fingernail in his ear. And I wonder if like afterward he itched it. It's really distracting because it's in the main frame of the film of like the shot. Like it's a very dramatic moment, like where she's counseling him, but all I can focus on is her finger going in his ear with her fingernail. And I'm wondering if like John was like, okay, I gotta hold it until Luke says cut and get Faye's fingernail out of my ear. France does not belong to you, Charles. She belongs to God. And what if she's not a virgin? I'll kill her myself. She is intact. Two arms. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking. I pretty much ate a complete burrito without even eating the pita bread. Because this generous motherfucker, I said double, and he gave me like, oh god, like over triple. And it's like, now I'm having to digest this. And it's like, how do I plow through this, guys? I didn't have to eat it all. But I think I've said all I needed to say. Ryan's daughter. If you don't want to watch the whole movie, watch that one scene because I'm fascinated with it. And that soldier is beautiful. Shell shock and all. I'm not advocating making a move on somebody with shell shock. You can comfort them if they don't try to kill you. But don't take advantage of them. Like Rosie does in the movie. But David Lean, beautiful director. Beautiful film. And maybe if I understood more, god damn it. Maybe if I understood more about the history, I could appreciate it more. And Robert Mitchum is beautiful. Even in his he's not impotent. He's just maybe he's asexual since his wife died. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I really don't know. I think he explains it in a scene. Like she comes on to him and he's like, there's a whole world for you to see. My little life is here teaching these poor school children of chronic alcoholics, how to do their ABCs or do whatever it is that has been taught here for hundreds of years that keep these people here. And that's my life. And she's like, and tries to warn her, like, if you get with me, this is what your life's gonna be like. And she's like, but my hormones are raging. And seduces him, and they get married, and then the life that he warned her of starts happening, and she gets bored. It's like he tried to tell you, dude. And the soldier comes in, the beautiful soldier, whose beauty somehow competes with Robert Mitchum, because Robert Mitchum is a beautiful man. He's different looking. He's got a kind of bird look, and he's kind of menacing, but he has a certain beauty to him in a way. But like, who plays a soldier that blows himself up with dynamite? Fuck. Christopher Jones. That motherfucker is beautiful. He died though. He had 7 kids. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He okay. Sarah Miles still is alive, but I think everybody else is practically dead. The production was largely filmed on the Dingle Peninsula in County Kerry, Ireland in 1969. However, due to poor weather, many of the beach scenes were filmed in South Africa, easily identified by the white sand. The shipwreck where Dorian detonates the explosives is that of the Kakopo, which can be found just south of Cape Town. So they went to the tippity tip of the African continent to film that. That's amazing. They went to South Africa. That is really cool. Robert Bolt's original idea was to make a film of Madame Bovary starring Miles. So Sarah had it locked in before she even knew what to do with. Lean read the script and said that he did not find it interesting, but suggested to Bolt that he would like to rework it into another setting. The film still retains parallels with Flaubert's novel. Rosie parallels Emma Bovary. Charles is her husband, and Major Dorian is analogous to Rodolphe and Leon, Emma's lovers. Love. Casting. Alec Guinness, genuine class, turned down the role of Father Collins. It had been written with him in mind, but Guinness, a Roman Catholic convert, objected to what he felt was an inaccurate portrayal of a Catholic priest. Okay. If I'm stuck up and a prude, then that's really... way to stick by your faith, dude. He conflicts with Lean while making Dr. Zhivago also contributed. What? His conflicts. Wow. His conflicts, not his conflicts. Conflicts with Lean while making Dr. also contributed. Well, sorry for you, Alec. Paul Schofield was Lean's first choice for the part of Shaughnessy, but he was unable to leave a theater commitment. George C. Scott, Anthony Hopkins, and Patrick McGoohan were considered but not approached, and Gregory Peck lobbied for the role but gave up after Robert Mitchum was approached. Fuck yeah, Gregory. All these older stars, they were all hussies. They all cheated on their wives and such. Gregory did, Robert did. Reportedly, Mitchum initially was reluctant to take the role. While he admired the script, he was undergoing a personal crisis at the time, and when pressed by Lean as to why he would not be available for filming, told him, "I was actually planning on committing suicide." Wow. Upon hearing of this, scriptwriter Bolt told him, "Well, if you just finish working on this wretched little film and then do yourself in, I'd be happy to stand the expenses of your burial." That is fucking horrible. What? Dude, I'm reading this straight off of Wikipedia. So wait. Okay. I was actually planning on committing suicide. Why, Ryan? Robert? In 1970? What is you doing, baby? What? A lifelong heavy smoker? I'm not seeing, like, him talking about that. Why? I wonder why. Maybe his wife was threatening to leave him or something because you were fucking around with everybody else. Mitchum and wife Dorothy remained together until his death in 1997. He told journalist Don Short in a 1977 interview, "Not as though there hasn't been anyone else in my life except Dorothy. There's not one of them, and I've met the best of them, worth lighting a candle for alongside her." Well, great, dude. So you fucked around town with every actress that would open her legs, and that's not really a compliment to your wife, dude. If you didn't know that she would, oh my god, if you didn't know she wasn't the light of your life when you were fucking around, then should have left your ass. He's still beautiful though. God, some people are such pieces of shit. Sorry, Robert. I wonder what happened though to make him planning on committing suicide. And then bolt to say that. God, what a dick. And what were you doing, Robert? He was 45 when he said that? Well, you're the one that wrote this awful movie. Anyway. Ooh. Reception. The emptiness of Ryan's daughter shows in practically every frame. Or wait. Let me go back. Okay. Hang on. Charles Champlin of the Los Angeles Times wrote the original love story which Robert Bolt has set in these desolate seascapes seems both too frail and too banal to sustain the crushing weight of 3 hours and 18 minutes of Super Panavision. I agree. Pauline Kael of The New Yorker wrote, "There is no artistic or moral rationale for this movie, only expediency. The emptiness of Ryan's daughter shows in practically every frame." Not true, but I get what she's saying. According to James Walcott, at a gathering of the National Society of Film Critics, Time critic Richard Schickel asked Lane how someone who made Brief Encounter could make a piece of bullshit like Ryan's daughter. Richard Schickel? I think I know him. Yeah, I read his book on Martin Scorsese, and he's in that Stanley Kubrick documentary about how what did he say? Stanley wasn't a people. Oh, now I gotta find that. And then I think I'm gonna wrap it up because the remains of this burrito is haunting me. It really does look like. You guys want to see it? I'm not gonna show my face, but I'll show my food. It's pretty gross. It reminds me of the Eraserhead baby. How do I do this? Oh shit! I gotta get back. Fuck. Yeah. Shit. What do I do? Okay. Yeah, it really does look like the Eraserhead baby. You see? It's so disgusting. Anyway. Shit. Anyway. Fuck, what was I going on about? I already forgot. Oh, David Lean making a piece of shit. Oh, Richard Schickel. What did he say? Let's see. Stanley Kubrick documentary. Oh, I gotta get this burrito out of my life. They're looking. Oh, he's talking about how fussed about Stanley and where's the moviness in Stanley's movies. You don't try to photograph the reality. You try to photograph the photograph of reality. Yeah, it's real, but it's not interesting. Making movies 101. Oh god, it's so gross. Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. There's 2 people here. One of y'all fuckers gave me a thumbs up and the other one didn't. I'm not gonna forget this. Whoever watches my videos, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just rambling on and on about movies for 2 hours, and now I'm probably gonna go to sleep. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, and I think that's all I have to say for right now. So, is there anything else I want to say? How someone who made Brief Encounter could make a piece of bullshit like Rhinestone. Watch Brief Encounter and then watch the scene in Ryan's Daughter that I talked about. The shell shock scene and the love scene and the dynamite scene. And that I'll counter Pauline's Kale review. No artistic or moral rationale for this movie. Shows in practically emptiness, shows in every frame. Nope. I disagree. And the castle shot, which is great. I like the movie. And the sand. There's a lot of shots I like in the movie. Alright, I gotta wrap it up. Alright. Thanks for listening. I love you. Bye.